What's the difference between a version 2 and a version 3 supercharger? Let's see. All right, so we are on our way to the supercharger where we're hopefully gonna arrive with about 6%. I've been trying to heat up the battery as much as possible, but a really interesting thing about the 2021 Tesla Model 3 is that it prioritizes the cabin temperature over the battery's temperature. And so while I've been trying to heat up the battery, it keeps prioritizing our comfort and the warmth of the cabin over the batteries. This is the reality of the 2021 Tesla. So we're gonna arrive there after really trying to get the battery warm with only 23 Celsius as the mid-cell temperature. So we just rolled into the supercharger with about 15 miles or 6%, getting closer to 5% remaining. We're gonna supercharge. Our battery temperature is 24 Celsius. Ideally it would have been 35, but the way that this car manages temperature is it prioritized heating the cabin on the drive down. I have the dog in the car, I had the wife in the car. I wasn't gonna not turn the heat on. I drove as rapidly as I could legally to heat up the battery, so that's the way it is with the 2021 Tesla Model 3. So with that, let's get supercharging. So we just finished supercharging, and behind us we have an interesting and unique sight. This isn't at every supercharger. Usually they wrap them in a fence. We have the actual superchargers behind us, 4 of them, and 8 stations here behind us. When you see a Tesla supercharger, you'll usually just see the station where you plug in the car, but here we have what's called inverters, which convert alternating current into direct current, which is the kind of current that a battery can accept. So these V2 superchargers behind me can do 330 amps at 410 volts DC. If you multiply that, you get 135,000 watts or 135 kilowatts of power. That's the peak charging capability of each one of these superchargers, which is connected to 2 stations. So sometimes you'll find that your power is subdivided over 2 Teslas when you have someone parked right next to you. The V3 supercharger, however, has a very big version of one of these white boxes capable of 1 megawatt of power. That 1 megawatt is subdivided over 4 stations, going up to 250 kilowatts. That means you'll never have any limit on the maximum power capability at your station. In addition, you have almost twice the power capability, so it should turn out to be a lot faster. However, the Standard Range Plus has a smaller battery pack. This smaller battery pack leads to a max charging speed of 170 kilowatts. Because of that, we might not see as significant a difference as you'd think. So what do you think, Fanny? Should we head to the next supercharger? Are you ready? Are you ready to go? We just rolled into the V3 supercharger. We have 15 miles of rated range. The battery's temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, and the UI SoC, the user interface SoC, says 6%. At the last supercharger, we had a rated mile of 14, so very close, and a UI SoC of 6%, and a battery temperature of 24 degrees Celsius. Very comparable conditions, different supercharger with more power capability. Let's see how it charges. Take 2. The first supercharger I went to started charging at 30 kilowatts for about 10 minutes. I was told by a woman who had actually just pulled into that same supercharger, she couldn't get it to charge at all. So I just drove about an additional 20 miles. We're back at it. We're gonna try and do time lapse again of an actual V3 supercharger, same temperature, same 15 rated miles as I had just said before. Let's go for it. So it turns out going from a V2 to a V3 supercharger will save you about 1 minute. The reason for this is we have a smaller battery pack. So the difference in power capability that the Standard Range Plus's battery can see is smaller. It can't charge as fast as a larger battery pack. So a V2 supercharger is more capable relative to the size of your battery pack. This, combined with the fact that the heat pump has emphasized heating the cabin rather than heating the battery, means that we were also not able to hit the peak power capability of the Standard Range Plus in the cold. I imagine that if we try this again sometime in the spring or in the summer, when the battery is really nice and warm, we might see a larger difference. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy the car, and only charge to about 67% max, because that's the fastest way to travel. So what do you think, Phantom? You think we're good? You think we're ready to go? You think that's a good summary?